from my psychiatrist, and I got an appointment with my therapist at in about an hour, so this is going to be a short video. We're all kind of down. You know, we're trying to put a good spin on it, good face on it, but yeah, it's a heartbreaker. We were all hoping that we'd be the ones that found the treasure, but evidently yesterday, or actually June 6th, someone found the Forrest Fenn treasure. I'm a treasure hunter. I had been down to my site 9 times, 20,000 miles, $15,000 plus equipment, you know, from metal detectors to heat sensors, you know, boots, you name it, poles, the whole bit. You know, I kind of went all out on the equipment that I used to go down to Cimarron, New Mexico. It's no secret now. I guess everybody will be posting what they, where their sites were, because there's no use to try to be, you know, to try to hide it anymore. But yeah, I'm going to kind of, I'll probably, you know, depending on how many views I get, you know, I'll reveal my thinking on it and my solutions and how I came to them. But I'll give you a brief overview right now. And basically, it's in Cimarron, New Mexico, is where I think it was. And of course, Maverick Creek was a big deal, because Forrest Fenn was a private when he went into the Air Force, if you know that. And then he ended up becoming a major. And in about 3 places in the book, he uses the term Maverick. But if you were a private when you went into the Air Force and you became an officer, they called that a Maverick, okay? So, you know, that kind of honed in my thinking in that particular area. I did all the logistical things. Could he have made it from Santa Fe to Cimarron River, you know, and made it back home for dinner, which I don't even know to this day if that is a true statement, you know, that he made it back home to dinner or not. But I still figured he can do it, because he knew where he was going within about 5 hours, you know, so he can leave early in the morning, be back not too bad in the afternoon, you know, and still hide the treasure, go up and hide it. So Cimarron was logistically, it fit. But I looked at the whole thing as, you got to know the man, you know, and I felt early on that everyone had a lot of ideas, but I figured you had to know the psychology of the man, where he was from, how he thought, look for the hints in the books, as he said. And he mentioned that, you know, I mean, there were several things. I mean, we all looked for different things, you know, what was the important things out of the book that were the hints that helped you solve the clues. And I thought, so I'm going to just cut this down to something brief. And like I said, if I see some interest in my thinking, then I'll post more. But I'm giving you a quick overview of many hundreds of hours of research, you know, and thinking and meditating and, you know, trying to figure this thing out, like we all have. But before I start, let me thank Gypsy's Kiss, Toby, Shelley, and Jason. I mean, they were early on the pioneers of trying to help us all think, and they did help me, you know, think outside the box on a couple of things. And one of my main solutions early on was something that Toby had said. And so I appreciate them and all the other sites. You know, you don't have to name them all, but there's a lot of new ones that came up. You know, Odious Soul, you know, I appreciate her, and I can't name them all. They're just all great. There's another new one with some cute looking girl. I don't know her name, something, but anyway, she's Christy or something like that. But yeah, no, it's just been fun. It's been awesome, you know. It's been an awesome thing to be able to be part of. I spent, like I said, 9 trips, or I started in 2017. Yeah, 2017, August. That's when I heard about the guy that, the pastor that had died, and that's what got me reading the article. And like I said, I'm trying to keep it short. So my general philosophy was know the man, know who he is, where he's from, how he thinks. Definitely a brilliant man, and I thanked everybody but Forrest. Thank you. You enriched my life, Forrest. Thank you. I mean, I'm sad because I can't do the thrill of the chase. You know, that it's like he said, that was the thrill of it. I'm happy for the person that found it, but Forrest got me to go down into New Mexico, which I would have never done. And that part of New Mexico is beautiful. So thank you, Forrest Fenn, from all of us and from the bottom of my heart. God bless you. But I figured if this was a place he was going to go and die, and knowing, looking at the books, looking at different things that popped out, you know, he loved his father. You can tell that. And he spent a lot of time with his father. And so I started gleaning things, especially with the second and third book. It came out more and more that it was obvious that he had a Christian upbringing. So I'm thinking, okay, if I was going to die and I had a Christian upbringing, his father's funeral was in a Baptist church, and in Texas there's a Baptist church on every corner. So I'm thinking it has something to do with the spiritual adventure, and I felt that all the clues basically laid out what I would consider like a plan of understanding God, understanding Jesus Christ, and recognizing that the gold was in a Bible box. That's, you know, he kind of never really overemphasizes that, but it stuck in my head being a Christian myself. And I'm thinking he's leading us down a physical journey to find this treasure that's a real treasure, but the spiritual treasure it's in a Bible box, that the Bible, God, and Jesus Christ has a lot to do with this story that he's trying to unfold for us. So Maverick Creek led me, that's what got me into New Mexico for my first trip. We were there, me and a friend of mine, I won't mention his name because he might not want me to mention his name, but anyway, he didn't want me to go alone, so I said, I'm going, and he said, I'm going with you. So we went, and we're hiking up towards Maverick Creek on the side. If you know anything about it, there's many searchers that have been there. There's a trail on the right side. I think that's the east side. And it's not near the actual creek, but it's like an old logging trail, heavy loads, right? I mean, that was, you know, we all think of lots of different things. It's no logging trail. And so I always go loaded for bear. I had a big old pack on, like I was going to go into the forest for, you know, 6 months. I took everything and the kitchen sink with me. So my friend, he's traveling light, and he's up ahead of me, and he stops and turns around, and as I'm trying to, you know, he's waiting for me patiently. He goes, Ed, do you see that cross over there? And I go, what? He goes, do you see that cross? I go, where? And so I turn around and look across, which now I know is right underneath the Ponderosa campground. And I go, what the heck? He goes, what? And I go, you don't get it? He goes, no. And I go, that cross has something to do with the treasure. Because I'm on this spiritual adventure. I'm on this journey of, as it developed, I didn't have all these thoughts together all at once. And again, you know, but I thought the cross has something to do with it. You align with the cross. It's straight under the cross. It's to the right or left of the cross. It's from the east. You know, you come up from the east like the wise men, if you've been wise and found the blaze. And I believed at that point that the cross was the blaze. And there's also a big white, two big white chunks of granite, you know, exposed, which is also a blaze, you know, that the cross is sitting on top of. And I'm going, yeah, that's got to be it, you know. So whether it was on this side and we're trying to align with the cross and something, or as I began to rethink it after we searched the entire Maverick side, I went across to the Ponderosa side underneath the cross and did the same thing. 9 different trips. The last trip I explored out and away from that area, thinking, okay, maybe it's somewhere else. And I'm wondering where it is, if I'm even in the right state, right area. We all are. We're all waiting with bated breath as to see, you know, where in the heck is this cross? Yeah, where the heck is this treasure at? So the thing that got me, and I'll just say this quickly and I'm going to close. that got me thinking of the you know, supporting my idea of this spiritual adventure, you know, starting at Wheeler Peak, where there's a blue lake there that the Taos Indians think that that's where creation started. So it's like a creation adventure through the Bible, if you will, culminating at the cross, you know, where Jesus Christ died for our sins. But was Toby. Toby said he thought something to do with stars, and that the wise men were looking for a star. And, you know, I said the wise men, you know, came from the east. So I of course, went up the east side of the slope looking, you know, and all over that place. But I'm not chiding Toby. Everyone learned from Toby and Shelley that they weren't looking for a star. They were following a star looking for Jesus. And so that kind of bolstered my whole, you know, theory as to what I was thinking at the time. So anyway, it's just kind of an overview. I searched that whole area. I actually probably should be a resident of Cimarron, and I know so many people there. They know me because I've been there so many times. And so got some good friends there at the Cimarron Inn. The best place you can ever stay in New Mexico is the Cimarron Inn. I won't mention their names. Great people. So anyway, I just wanted to share that and lift your spirits. You know, we all had fun. It was an adventure. It was the greatest puzzle. It was the greatest search that you could ever imagine, you know. And so I'm happy for the gentleman that found it. And I think we're all kind of, in one sense, relieved that it's found. And now I don't have to spend so much money. I'm a guitar teacher, and I sold I don't know how many guitars to finance my trips. But, you know, we won't have to worry about that. But I'm going to miss the research, the thinking. It kept me occupied in that way. And, you know, to think, well, maybe it's this or maybe it's that, and I got to revamp. So there was planning I'll miss, the research, and then the adventure of driving down from Boise, Idaho into New Mexico, going through Salt Lake City, Moab, Utah, you can't beat that, then parts of Colorado, and then northern New Mexico by Taos. I'm going to miss that. It was so beautiful. So anyway, I'm sure others are going to share their solutions now, because it's you know, not needed that we got to hide or you know, not share what we thought. And I'm hoping that you know, they'll at least tell us a couple of things, that either Forrest Fenn and or the finder at least tells us what state, what was the home of Brown, which I think was this Cimarron River at the dam there. That's where the Cimarron started, was at Eagle Nest Lake Dam. And that's its home. That's its home base. And it traveled all the way to Texas. Okay? I think somebody famous we know was from Texas. So I thought, you know, his bones would wash down into the river and he'd have a connection. He liked touching things. He liked touching the Washington picture because it made him feel like he had a connection to the past. Imagine if the Cimarron, as his bones, you know, disintegrated, if you will. I know that sounds gross, but, you know, eventually decayed and went into the ground and then washed into the Cimarron. He'd have a connection from where he made his millions in New Mexico all the way back to Texas. So I'd like to know where the home of Brown is. We'd like to know what Warm Water's halt was, and we'd also like to know what was the blaze. I believe at first it was the cross, and it still very well could be, you know, who knows. Because I'd done a lot of research on how long that cross been there. I know most all of the rangers at Cimarron, and I talked to them extensively, and some of them had been there long before Forrest had even hid that treasure, so that cross was there for a long time. So anyway, we'd like to know that, you know, what was Warm Water's halt, home of Brown, you know, what was the blaze, and of course what state it was in. Because if they say Colorado, then I don't care. I don't care no more. I hope I at least get the right state. You know, I think we all at least want that, you know, as a consolation prize. So God bless you, Forrest Fenn. You made a difference in my life. You really, really touched me and inspired me. And I love all your stories. I love the book. I mean, I love reading the things that you did. You sound like a kid like me, just adventurous and exploring and, you know, doing things that are a little bit on the edge, as you say. And so I related to you totally, but I never became a millionaire like you. So you got to be a very brilliant guy to be able to pull all that off without a college degree, as they say, and becoming a major. I mean, that's phenomenal. Everything about you, your life, your family, I wish them the very best. And thank you again, and congratulations to the finder. You know, you've pissed a lot of us off, but also settled the issue to the doubters that said there's no treasure. We all knew it. All of us that were sincere, we knew there had to be a treasure. So thank you all for watching this. God bless you. God bless Forrest Fenn. And I pray God bless America. You know, we're going through some troubled times. God bless America.